Sorry, everyone. I am. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'll just start talking about immigration, obviously, because this is probably one of the biggest things that are on people's minds today. And it is probably one of the biggest issues that have come up. And we don't necessarily get a lot of controversial sort of comments on this one. I think it's very much in the news. And so, for a lot of people, I mean, immigration, I want to talk about this because it seems to be one where Danielle Smith happens to flip flop quite a bit. And one of the concerns is we keep getting called out here for being tough on Danielle Smith. Well, no, I'm not going to cheerlead Danielle Smith. I'm here really to call out the promises that have not been kept. There's lots of people who are saying, patting her on the back and telling her what a great job she's doing. I think there are promises that were made, things that she campaigned on, that she's fallen short of. And my responsibility as a citizen and somebody who wants to see change happen is to make sure that we call her out on those things. And I'm hoping to give her fair warning here as to what she can do to actually help improve as far as many conservatives are concerned right now. So, immigration being one of them. I think realistically, just like Quebec has more control and more influence over its own immigration policies. Danielle Smith herself had pretty much rolled out the red carpet and said, everybody welcome, come on into Alberta, please, all people are welcome, you know, immigration as well as migration. And I think the real test here is the fact that we have major issues with infrastructure, healthcare, education, our roads, housing, inflation. Now we have unemployment, immigration. And I talk a lot about this when I talk about my Alberta pension plan presentation, is that realistically more people does not mean that one doesn't want to come up either. Sorry, guys. So more people, adding more people does not actually add to our standard of living. And that's the sad reality. And so by her rolling out the red carpet, inviting everybody in, it's just compounding a problem we already have. Our economy can't absorb everybody. And of course, for me, I also have cultural concerns as well. I mean, we have a very strong Western heritage here. We're just as unique a culture as Quebec is. And if we don't integrate people into that society in an appropriate manner, in a manner that we can absorb, then we actually risk ourselves losing that identity, losing that culture. And so that's something that's worth preserving, in my opinion. And I think most Albertans actually agree with me on that matter. And with respect to standard of living and costs, affordability, we are giving up opportunities that our children and our grandchildren should be taking advantage of, that are being handed to other people. And I think, like anything, we need to take care of our own first. We can't take care of our other people until we first put our own house in order. And so that's where, the immigration policy has boiled down to. And Danielle Smith has, on a number of occasions, embraced this mass immigration, this globalist idea that more people coming into the province, more people coming into the country is a good thing. And I don't understand that. So, more than enough people, whether it's Jordan Peterson or, even the Toronto Star these days, talking about mass immigration and the concerns and the problems that it's created, Danielle Smith has challenged the Red Deer Town Council to become a 1 million person city. And it's currently just over 100,000 person population. So could you imagine the problems we're having now? And people could say, oh, but that's over a matter of time. Well, how much time? It's like she keeps talking about doubling our population here within the next 20 years. That population can't come from, birth rates, because we're not replacing our population that quickly. So that means we are integrating and bringing more people in. And then her logic, and not only her speaking to that now, but some of her ministers speaking the same rhetoric, is about, well, it would give us more political clout. Well, you show me one country, one province, one state today where they have mass immigration coming in without the proper systems and infrastructure to actually integrate people properly, where that has actually been helpful for a conservative country or a conservative government in any way, shape, or form. It just doesn't exist. If you look at what's going on in France, you look at what's going on in Germany, you look at what's going on in Ireland, you look at what's going on in the United States right now. They are bringing people in to vote liberal and progressive. They are not bringing them in to vote conservative. Danielle Smith somehow seems to think that if we bring people into these smaller communities, we're going to convert them into conservative-minded individuals. Well, if we have a decade or an entire generation, maybe, but that's really not going to do us much good in the decade or the generation that it takes to change things.